And Mick Schumacher really covered off the inside line that time around. Hamilton almost hit him, getting an exit out of turn 3. Mick Schumacher's trying to come across and defend here, but if he does, he risks contact with the Mercedes. And it is that DRS that is just preserving that place for Mick Schumacher.
One of the hottest topics on the grid has to be Mick Schumacher. The German hasn't been able to secure a driving seat for the 2023 season, and there's a high possibility that we're currently seeing the last from the German in the remainder of this season. However, not all doors are closed for Mick, and apart from Haas, a very interesting seat has opened up in another team that is looking more and more promising for the future. So, is there a chance that Mick will sign a contract with Williams? And what are the chances that Haas will continue his contract? Stick around with us to find out more. Now, Mick was brought into Haas in 2021 as a rookie with Nikita Mazepin, and he was able to outperform the Russian driver without any difficulties by margins as large as 3 seconds.
Tensed the battery in the middle sector, so Red Bull showing some pace. What's happening?
What the f is he doing?
It's okay, it's okay. He was doing double push, he did double push.
Yeah, but you could have warned me on that.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realise he was going to do double push.
By the performance of Mick, everybody thought that he is a very good driver and he only needs a competitive car in order to score his first career points. However, after what happened in 2022 and after Magnussen proved that Haas can indeed score points, Mick found himself in a tight situation which he had to perform immediately, otherwise his seat would be in jeopardy. And although he scored his first career points in 2022 in Silverstone and Austria by finishing P8 and P6 respectively, it seems like the crashes he caused in Jeddah and Monaco have hurt his reputation as a stable and solid driver for the future.
Die Top 10 hineinzukommen. Schwerer Aufprall von Mick Schumacher. Und es muss rote Flagge geben, ganz klar.
This is why he's been heavily related to an exit from Haas, something that will severely hurt his chances of a seat in the upcoming season, since apart from the team he's currently driving in, only Williams can offer him a free seat. Günther Steiner spoke about Mick Schumacher's performance and said that the chances of him remaining in the Haas seat are 50-50. In order for the German to be the #1 candidate for the team, he needs to perform better and score more points in the remainder of the season, something that's proven a huge challenge after the Austrian GP. However, Steiner also spoke about Nico Hülkenberg and Daniel Ricciardo as possible replacements for Mick, saying that he has high praise for both of them, and at this point, literally everyone is considered a candidate for Haas. But Mick does have experience in driving the Haas car, and all he needs to do is perform better in order to achieve better results. In case he doesn't, the only option left for him is Williams. This is the team that sacked Nicholas Latifi due to the bad results that the Canadian had ever since he stepped in as a starting driver for the British-based team in 2020. He's currently holding the status of the worst paid driver to ever enter the sport, and after De Vries' phenomenal debut in Williams, it became evident that they need to get rid of Latifi and bring someone who can actually score points in the worst performing car on the grid. Jos Capito, the principal of Williams, spoke about the opportunity of seeing Mick Schumacher in his team, saying that it is indeed an interesting option and the team might consider it. Mick deserves to stay in Formula 1, we'll see if that happens, but he's definitely an option for us. A Schumacher and a Williams would certainly be charming. He could really move forward and be a very good driver in Formula 1. He's now in his second year. If you look at George Russell, he also made mistakes with Williams in the second year and he nevertheless developed. Formula 1 is very complex, and the step from Formula 2 is so big because the cars are so complex and technically more demanding. You have to learn that. You have to give a driver 2 years to get there and show what he can do in the third year. Finish Capito. Mick Schumacher was also related to exiting the Ferrari Academy, as multiple sources said that Binotto isn't really satisfied with how Schumacher has progressed so far. If he would exit the Ferrari Academy at the end of the year, he needs to find another seat because it's likely that the Maranello team would want to put a driver from their school in order to prepare him for a future in Ferrari. However, Hülkenberg could fill the vacant spot that Schumacher will leave behind up until a driver from the Ferrari Academy is ready for the F1 show. Nevertheless, it's evident that Williams can and will bring a better driver than Latifi in the FW44, a car that Albon has been able to drive perfectly well on multiple occasions and score 4 points with it. The fact that De Vries was able to score 2 points in his debut only goes to show that if you have the right driver behind the wheel, anything is possible. But Williams is still far away from the midfield, and that's one of the reasons why they're considering drivers that could develop for a longer time in their team. That way, when Williams is finally back in the midfield, they'll have a pair of drivers that will be able to absolutely outperform the car they're given. But quickly before we move on, we've partnered with the official F1 store to bring the best Formula 1 merch and accessories out there. So check out the first link down below and you might even get yourself a juicy discount. Williams is also considering signing a driver out from their own academy, and the main guy for this job would be Logan Sargent. Logan is currently having an amazing season in F2, sitting at the 3rd spot, but he could fall down 5 places in the last race in Abu Dhabi if he fails to perform well. That way, if he doesn't finish in the top 5 places, he won't be eligible for a super license and the stint in F1 could very well wait. And rest assured that Sargent will be one of the most attractive solutions for Williams, given the fact that he is from the USA and the fact that the sport is literally booming in the States. Having a USA-based driver will only add more value to the team, and Sargent himself could bring a lot of sponsors that are located in the USA. With more money on the financial condo, Williams will be able to upgrade its car much more than it's used to now, given the fact that they're dead last in the championship and nothing much has changed in the past few years. Jos Capito spoke about Sargent filling the vacant seat of Latifi, saying that it's indeed a good opportunity and something that the team will seriously consider if Sargent is able to get the super license for the 2023 season. There's a good choice of drivers, it's a good choice of young drivers, there's still some experienced drivers there as well. And so I think it's quite different philosophies, different strategies, and in the situation on the team we can work on different strategies. We're not so much in the front that we need 2 experienced drivers, so we can experiment a bit and get young drivers in. So we'll see what turns out to be best. Either we think Sargent's ready and he's capable or not, he could do another year in F2 or whatever, finished Capito, who stressed that the only factor that will predominate over Williams taking Sargent as Latifi's replacement or not will be his skill, not his nationality. Another driver that could take his seat is Jack Doohan, who's currently under Alpine's academy and is a driver that Alpine could send in Williams in the exact same deal they planned for Piastri. However, this is under a huge question mark, and the fact that Piastri found a much better seat than Williams and McLaren has been a huge slap in the face for Alpine. This means that Williams will also have to be asked about the opportunity of grooming a driver for another team, as they might have one of their own drivers that will bring lots of popularity to the team. Doohan and Sargent are in a direct fight for the P4 spot in the championship, and that's something that will definitely have a huge factor on the outcome of both drivers' destinies. With that being said, it's evident that Williams have an interesting period ahead of them, but apart from them, Mick is also one driver that we need to pay more attention to in the upcoming period. According to reports, Haas said that the German driver will be intensively monitored until the Mexican GP, and they will decide after it whether Mick is worthy of the 2023 seat or not. So, what do you think is next for the German driver? Do you think that he has an opportunity to drive for Williams in the 2023 season and therefore salvage his career? Or do you think that Haas will keep him on the team and he'll have one more year to prove himself? Let us know in the comments below.